In the heart of the Sequatchie Valley, near Jasper, Tennessee, there once stood an ancient, abandoned log cabin from the late 19th century. Locals frequently witnessed shadowy figures lurking in the windows at night, while ethereal lights shimmered and flickered through the worn-out panes. Some courageous individuals even claimed to have heard voices and sobbing emanating from within, fueling rumors of a past tragedy and a potential murder that took place there. Legend has it that a daring local man, staunchly disbelieving in ghosts, decided to venture into the cabin one fateful night. The following morning, he was discovered unconscious in a field before the house by a concerned hunter. After tending to his injuries, the man slowly regained consciousness, yet his memory of the events remained fragmented. All he could recall was stepping through the cabin's door and being confronted with a profoundly disturbing sight. Following this incident, the community refrained from approaching the cabin, fearful of its ominous aura. Several years later, a tall stranger from Alabama arrived in the area and became acquainted with the eerie tales surrounding the cabin. Filled with skepticism and bravado, the stranger boldly declared the non-existence of ghosts. He even offered to enter the cabin at night, provided the locals contributed a small sum of money as an incentive. In a matter of days, the valley's inhabitants raised a modest amount, and as darkness enveloped the surroundings, the confident stranger, accompanied by a crowd of curious onlookers, proceeded towards the haunted cabin. However, as they approached within 100 yards, a wary local voiced their concern about the stranger's commitment to fulfill his promise. To ensure his sincerity, the astute individual handed the stranger a nail and a stone, instructing him to drive the nail into the cabin's wall. The following morning, the group would collectively inspect the house to ascertain the presence of the nail. With this plan in motion, the stranger embarked alone into the enveloping darkness, advancing cautiously towards the foreboding cabin. Opening the door, he struggled to perceive anything in the pitch-black interior. Tentatively stepping forward, his initial courage wavered as an overwhelming sense of panic gripped him. Determined to complete his task and escape swiftly, the stranger seized the nail and forcefully embedded it into the wall, pounding it with the stone provided by the villager. Accomplishing his objective, he hastily turned to flee the unsettling cabin. In his haste, something seized the stranger from behind, causing him to be thrown roughly to the floor. Springing to his feet, he realized the ghostly entity had ensnared his long overcoat. Desperate to break free, he managed to extricate himself from the spectral grip, albeit with his coat torn in the process. Finally liberated, he rushed outside, down the hill where the locals anxiously awaited the outcome. Out of breath, the stranger proudly declared that not only had he successfully driven the nail into the wall, but they had also valiantly battled and vanquished an entire room filled with ghosts. Pointing to his torn overcoat, the stranger vividly recounted the intense encounter, detailing each blow exchanged in the darkness of the cabin. The locals hailed the stranger as a hero and jubilantly accompanied them back to the village, celebrating their remarkable achievement. The following morning, with the sun casting its illuminating rays, the villagers, accompanied by the stranger, returned to the cabin to verify the presence of the nailed object and secure the promised cash prize. As the stranger guided the hesitant and apprehensive group into the cabin, they directed their attention to the wall where a nail hung, suspending a piece of fabric. Observing closely, an astute villager noted the striking resemblance between the cloth and the stranger's torn overcoat. Gradually, a wave of snickers swept through the gathering, exposing the truth behind the situation. It became evident that the stranger had not encountered any ghostly adversaries. Instead, they had unwittingly fastened their coat to the wall in the darkness. The struggle to break free had actually stemmed from the nail, not from a supernatural entity. Despite the revelation, the stranger was permitted to keep the reward since they had faithfully fulfilled their agreed-upon task. However, feeling like the object of mockery, the stranger swiftly departed and vanished without a trace, never to be seen again. Please like the video and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily ghost stories. You can find our Southern Ghost Stories books over at Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble. Also, is there a local ghost story near you that you would like to see us dig into and do a story on? Please, leave us a comment.